Now, your crew was called the Romper Room Gang.
Right. Well, it was Romper Room Crew.
Romper Room Crew.
And and
later
the feds
on,
and they turned it into Romper Room Gang. So,
exactly.
we roll with it. That's what y'all want to make.
Okay.
That's what we going to be for you.
And, for those that grew up in the Bay Area, there was a kids show called the Romper Room.
Yeah,
it was Miss Nancy, I think. Was
yeah.
Like this white lady.
And actually, that was not just a Bay Area show. They did the filming in the Bay Area, but it was actually a national show.
Oh, it was national? Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, the Romper Room was, you can Google the Romper Room right now. It ran for many years.
Okay.
It was a kid-based show, and it was basically like a teacher, and she had the kids in the classrooms, and she used to get on this little mirror and she'd call the kids' names out, and any kid on TV want to get their name called out. So, and this was young kid stuff. This wasn't no teenager show. This was, 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Yeah, elementary.
But it was popular, like, so when I was growing up, it was something that was definitely on TV. So, our name came about just being a crew in the neighborhood, and we had a homeboy. Our homeboy was Jamie 08. When the crew used to be out, our crew was jokesters. Like, we used to be in the shit in the streets and playing games and all that shit. So, like, one of our homeboys might be going to a car ride, selling some dope or doing something. And to be funny, somebody in my crew might be rollers. And, of course, nigga, everybody gonna react and turn around. Ain't no rollers there. And niggas looking at us like badass kids. Get the fuck off the block, little Romper Room kids, So that name stuck. That's how Jamie 08, he named the crew the Romper Room, and it stuck and ran with it.
Now, your cousin Kilo was, I guess, a half owner of Thiz.
Yes, sir. Him and Mac Dre started Thiz together right around 99. They switched it from Romp Records to Thiz Entertainment in 99, and they started that. I was still in prison. I was still in the feds at the time. I didn't get released till 2001.
Okay. Now, at the time, you guys were all rolling together. Mac Dre was part of, your crew.
Right.
Okay. Was he involved? Like, how involved was he? In terms of all the was he involved in the crack selling originally?
Oh, Mac Dre, yeah, he definitely was in the streets. Dre sold dope. He did all the shit. He was a street nigga. He did all the shit in the streets.
Okay.
But when it came down to the banks and shit.
We didn't get to the banks yet. But
okay.
With the pizza robberies, was he involved at all?
No.
Not
he
at all.
Definitely knew, but he was not involved. By the time the pizza robberies was effective, he had a hit single out. So
Too Hard for the Radio?
Too Hard for the fucking radio. Mm-hmm. So the thing was to keep Dre out the way. You know what I mean? You the rapper, you stay out the way, let us do this street shit. My nigga, you just get us to the top with this rap shit.
Yeah. And Dre at this point was still very underground.
Very.
I mean, Too Hard for the Radio was a local hit, and it was big in Vallejo, but it wasn't like played on KMEL and the big radio stations.
It never hit the radio. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
He was never a radio artist. He came out with Too Hard for the fucking Radio was basically his first single, and his career was that. Dre didn't hit the radio until after Drake passed. Dre always was an underground artist.
So here you are, you guys are doing what you're doing, and Dre is starting to build up his music career. And then you guys get to the bank robberies. Mm-hmm. How involved were you in the bank robberies yourself initially?
I'm from the gate, very involved.
From the gate.
Like that's what at that time when the bank robberies was doing, that's how I ate. That's what how I got up and I planned licks, and that was my day. I might slide past a bank, check it out, call one of my cuddies, tell them come slide through. How you like this? Like that was my plan. I got up like you would go to work. That was my work. I would get up, look for licks, look at them, see how they play, see if they had security. Like that became what I was doing. That was my daily thing.
According to the detectives and the FBI and so forth, 47 banks got robbed.
Yeah, something like that.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, sound about right.
Okay. You personally, do you remember how many banks you robbed, roughly?
Not at all. I nowhere close to 47, but I would say somewhere in the high teens.
High teens?
Yeah, high teens, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the most you ever got from a bank robbery?
Probably our highest lick was probably like right around about 140, probably about 130, something like that, somewhere around there. And it was a special lick, definitely, because majority of the licks that you get, you're not getting that. Majority of the bank licks is right around 30, 40,000. Like if you in there good, you might even. I think we had a bad lick one time where a motherfucker came out of there with like under 20, like ready to turn back around, like go back in this motherfucker right now. Like so, it just depends, It depends on what time you hit, and the way we did it, we was never the ones to go looking for trying to get the whole chunk, because it was a whole game there. You got to understand they had die packs and they had tracers. So you couldn't just grab money like this and just run out of bank. Like you had to strategically make sure you grabbing some shit and not getting these die packs. And because once you exit the bank, this shit blows up, changes the money. So once you learn the game, you know that you're not coming out of the bank with 200, 300,000. Like it's not that type of shit. You take over lick like that. You're gonna hit the counter. You're gonna get what you can get. Hopefully you get somewhere, like 40, 50. That's a plausible lick at that time. And this, like I say, you gotta understand, this was the early '90s. This was that time, so that was good.
Did you ever get a pack of money with a die pack yourself?
Not me personally, but one of my cuddies have, yeah.
So they came outside and boom, blue paint everywhere.
Yeah, changed the whole color, the money no good. I've had another one that came, they got away with the lick and they at home and they separating the money, and the next thing you know, police surrounding the house because they had a tracer on in the money. So, they got different shit, they got different methods. So like I say, you can't just go in there and just grabbing shit because they got money set up just to give you. You go in a bank now and you try to grab some shit, they got setup money. So as soon as you get outside, go ahead, take that shit.
With the bank robberies, did anyone ever get pistol whipped, shot, anything?
Not shot at. Yeah, it's been definitely a few pistol whippings. We had an incident with, a member in my crew. It was a high-speed chase with the police. We went from Richmond into Vallejo, across the bridge, where of course, the police chasing you trying to get away. My cuddy swung out the van and let loose. He got to spitting at the police, got him off of him for a hot minute. One of my dudes got away, one of them got caught. You know what I mean? That was one of the biggest. That was one of the episodes they made the biggest, thing about, like, okay, these niggas getting out of control. How they gunning that police and all the shit. So, but that day, that's one of them things. You're in a life and death situation. You already feel like I done did my ultimate crime. Like at the end of the day, let's do it. So yeah, it had a few situations, yeah.
Now you guys, and you talked about this in the American Gangster episode, you guys were taking the money from the bank robberies and pouring it into Dre's music career.
That was the movement.
Yeah.
The whole thing was keep Dre out the way. Dre, what you need? You need studio equipment. You need this. You need that. My cuddies was we grew up, like brothers. So whatever you needed, and it's hard. We almost had a policy where you can't say no. Like if I need something, man, you got it. You come on, bro. We cuddies. This is how we do. And everybody, all the other cuddies, we actually had a saying that we used to call it, we're gonna take it back to the cuddies. So if somebody asked for something or needed something and it was a dispute between two, then the two would take it back to the rest of the crew and we'd say, hey, and then the crew would give a judgment on it. Like, hey, man, you need to give him your car and let him use your car to go to school today. You know what I mean? So that was the type of shit that we did as a crew. So Dre was definitely not out the way. That was the thing. And then whatever Dre needed for his situation, we was trying to make it happen. And if it meant it was time to go hit a lick, well, let's go hit this lick so we can make sure that we got everything we need, because Dre was on the rise. And of course, he had nothing to do with the plan and nothing to do with the licks and none of the shit. And it wasn't even the fact that he needed shit. It was the fact that, hey, we got it. So let's take this, you know what I mean? He was, we'd go pick up a little keyboard or something. He'd be like, oh, this shit, I need this. And he'd get excited. And next thing you know, he making beats and shit. Oh, this is what I needed. Oh, a new microphone or something, And that's what motivated him to do his thing. So, and that's, that's what a crew is. You want to motivate. Every crew got rappers. So, and if these young niggas now understand it, instead of trying to be the main rapper in the crew, you play a role and you motivate the nigga that y'all know that's hot, you can get somewhere with this shit. So that's what we did. We motivated Dre. Like, hey, nigga, you go get in the studio, nigga, go rap about this, and then go talk about that bitch. And you know what I mean? So that's what the crew, that's what we should do. And it worked.